How you doing, guys? This is BG Dino, and I am the Terradome Soldier. Welcome to my movie review show. Today's movie is going to be the movie Good Boy. But first, let's watch this trailer, then we'll have our conversation / review. Let's go.
I guess I'm next. I should never have come here.
So guys, have you seen it? What you think about it? What I got from it was, okay, let's start from the beginning. The movie begins with it showing the picture of the dog. The dog's name is Indy. Pretty much the star of the movie, Indy. You know, and Indy, she's sitting on a couch. He never determined if it was he or she. So we were just going to call him Indy. Indy was on the couch, and then the camera cuts over, and you can see a human foot kind of shaking a little bit. And of course the camera, get a close up on the guy. It's a person. They never show this guy's face, but you see a guy, he's sick or something, like he may have a stroke or something, or a seizure or something. You're not exactly sure what's going on. Then the camera cuts away. But once it cut away and it came back on, it pretty much was showing a story of, I guess it was like a young man and his dog puppy, and it was pretty much showing how close they are and how they grew up together and things like that. You know, it was like a maybe 3-minute thing. Then it cuts to the present time, which the guy, I don't think they ever said his name. Well, he wasn't really the focus on the movie anyway. Indy was. Indy is the star of the movie. That's not cut away from that. Indy is the star of this movie. No matter how you look at it, he's the star of this movie. So you see the sister of the guy, giving him stuff about, hey, what are you doing, man? You need to take better care of yourself, because the brother, the owner of Indy, the best friend of Indy, we're gonna call him that, the best friend of Indy, which is the guy, he decided that he wanted to move to one of their old family houses. They had a history of, bad things happening. No one wanted to live there, but he decided he just going to just off and just live there. He never really gave an explanation of if he got fired from his job, or if he left his job, or why he decided to just move out in the middle of nowhere. But nevertheless, it carried on to him and Indy. They pulled up to the door of this family home that's sitting in the middle of nowhere. And you see Indy staring at things. You know how dogs do the stare, and you wonder, like, what are they really looking at? So this whole movie is pretty much from the point of view of Indy's eyes. Kind of like that movie where we had that point of view from the serial killer eyes. This movie right here. Yeah, so you get the view from Indy. Then you see Indy, he goes in the house, and he goes upstairs to the attic, and he's staring at things, and you may see little things come out like this, like a hand. It may look like a hand, but when his friend, the guy, come upstairs and he turned the light on, it was nothing but like a coat rack or something like that. So this carries on for maybe like the first 20 minutes of little things happening, like you may see a hand here, or a crick there, or a crack there. And this was not a long movie, so like I said, within that first 25-30 minutes, I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was like this. This is how I was. You know, it was a complete shocker. Yeah, it really was boring for like the first 35, 40 minutes. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. You know, it's one of them movies like you trying to figure out what's going on, and then it gets all the way to the very end, and then you still trying to figure out what's going on. They wait till like the very last 5 minutes to show you what's going on. So, for instance, there was a scene where like this demon thing, it seemed like a demon thing was coming to grab the guy and drag him down into the basement. And Indy, you know, the dog, was trying to prevent that from happening. And it was like strange because you didn't know what was going on. Because you see 1 minute, the guy was sitting up in the room, he was doing fine. The next minute, you see him getting dragged by some kind of demon or something. So this movie was really confusing to me. Excuse me, but I've jumped over a lot of details. But the details are really not that important. My whole point of this movie, reviewing this movie, it took me a while because I didn't know how to bring it to you guys, because I know a lot of people really was looking forward to seeing this movie. And I was really looking forward to seeing this movie because like, it's a whole new concept that, you know, I like this new concept of getting the point of view from something else's vision. You know, I do like that. They did it with the movie Weapons. They did it with the movie I just showed you right there. And now they're doing it with this. So I like that. You know, it's something different. It's something new. But I think they could have did a lot better with this movie. So to make a long story short, you know, when something was dragging the guy away, dragging him into a hole, and the dog Indy, he ran in the hole to try to grab him out. And as he was going out, the guy was telling him, "No, Indy, you have to let me go. You have to let me go." So the guy ended up getting dragged in the hole. Then Indy goes upstairs, and when he goes back upstairs, he noticed that there's an empty medication bottle on the bed, and the guy's laying there, and he's not moving. So I'm not sure what this indicates. I'm thinking it's indicating that he committed, due to YouTube guidelines and regulations, I can't say certain words, but he committed, and that was his soul getting dragged to hell, and Indy just happened to be there with him and was trying to save him. But then it makes me think that if he came out to that secluded area to do that, why would you bring your dog? Why wouldn't you just give Indy to your sister and you go out there and do that? Or I guess because he didn't want to let nobody know what he was doing. Because at the end, the sister ended up coming back to the house and she found him and she started screaming and she ended up getting Indy anyway. So like I said, this movie is really confusing. I mean, I've seen it twice. The second time I seen it, you know, somebody gave me, some other person in the theater, Mr. Michael, shout out. He had a different point of view. He thinking that maybe the dog was a spirit and he was trying to prevent him from doing the thing he did to himself, and it wasn't happening. It was like, I mean, that's what he thought. That's what his point of view was. But the first time I seen it in the theater, people was kind of upset, and I was actually on an early showing on a Thursday. It was maybe about 25, 30 people in there. You know, I usually like on a Thursday because there's less people sometimes, depending on what kind of movie it is. So there was somebody in there, and after it went off, it pretty much showed that the real person, the director of the movie, Indy is actually the dog's real name, and the guy that played the movie, he was actually the real owner. They never really showed his face. Like at the very end, they showed a glance of the owner's face, and he was explaining how hard it was for them to film the movie. It took them 3 years, and they pretty much recorded it on a camera with like a crew of 4 or 5 people, you know. And I don't know if I was upset about that or not, but somebody in the theater was pretty much upset about that. He yelled up, "So we your effing science project? This boring movie?" I can't say I agree with him, and I can't say I don't, because it kind of did feel like we like somebody's science project. Like, let me test and see if this movie. I'm wondering how he got funded for this. You know, I believe I can make a better movie than this. This movie, I'm gonna give this movie. In fact, let me give my immediate reaction. My immediate reaction is, Indy did a great job, the dog, and it was amazing how he was so disciplined to do certain things. But like I said, at the end, when the guy showed the extra credits of how they did things, he kind of like discredited Indy a little bit. He was like, "Oh no, he has no training or nothing like that. We just happen to catch little things." I really don't believe that. That dog is talented. Indy, I'm gonna give you a 1.5. Not the movie. I'm giving Indy a 1.5 out of 5 Pterodon soldiers. Guys, I don't know if you guys want to see this in the theater. It's kind of boring. It's a lot of pointless jump scares. The ending is weird. If anything, if you do want to go in the theater to go see it, if anything, it's just to try to figure out what's your interpretation of what the ending is. Like I said, I got 2 different points of view on it, and I'd like to hear other people's point of view on it. I want someone else to, if you did see it, leave a comment. Let me see what you thought about it. What was your point of view on it? So like I said, I give this movie a 1.5 Turn on Soldiers out of 5, and that is just for Indy by himself. Indy did a great job. The movie stinks. If I had 5 thumbs, I give it 5 thumbs down. But I give Indy 5 thumbs up. He did an excellent job. Good job, Indy. So thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate you guys' patience with me. I appreciate you guys, all you guys' support. My numbers are steady going up. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Guys, don't forget to check out the BG Dino Halloween Horror Special. It's part 1 and part 2 is actually in circulation right now. You can catch it. Part 3 will be there by the beginning of next Wednesday. So the start date of Wednesday that's the date of my Halloween specials. And I'm supposed to be doing 30 movies. It may be a little more than 30 movies. I love you guys that much that I might make more than 30 movies for the thing. But I hope you guys enjoy it anyway. Time for my honorable mentions. Shout out to the Dante Show Network. Shout out to June 5th. Shout out to Miss Jersey. Subscribe to our channel. It's Forensic 8888. Subscribe to my... Shout out to my buddy Thug 2000, and shout out to my buddy eBooks, and a special shout out to my buddy Be Humble and the Be Humble podcast. Be Humble is a veteran. He helps out veterans on certain situations. He does a bike tour. He has very good content. Guys, please give him a check out. Thank you guys. It's BG Dino, the Turbodome Soldier. Hope to see you soon on the BG Dino's Halloween Horror Special. It's going to be 4 parts. Part 1 and part 2 is already in circulation. Thank you guys for all the support. It's BG Dino once again. Salute. And thank you guys. And I love you. And please be safe.